Happy snowy fucking freezing Monday morning. This is the Denver protest news, and I'm your protest mom. Going to do a quick wrap up of what happened over the weekend, give you an idea of what's going to come ahead, and explain why I'm sitting in my bedroom doing this. See, I have to share an office with my husband, and we have all the kids home today from school. All of them. So apologies for the noise. They're all downstairs. Going to do the best I can. And in order to share this office, he has me, because my husband is ex-military. We have to sign out the room and request meeting times. And I did not fill out the form properly. I'm not kidding. And so he did not know I was doing Denver Protest News at this time. So I lost, and he's having a meeting while I hang out in here. There you go. You thought things were complicated. Sometimes bureaucracy begins at home. Yay! Everyone who is married to the military spouse, who's going through something similar right now, because rules are rules and they must be followed. I feel you. Oh my God. You know what else I feel? Fucking cold. And you don't know if you can tell through this light, my face is a little bit red. It feels like a sunburn. That happened yesterday on an 8.5-mile run from my house to the unhoused encampment at 19th and Emerson. And then I ran back. And this happened. So imagine if this is what happens after 90 minutes of motion outside. Imagine what happens when you are living on the streets in weather like this. It is 10 degrees outside and feels like -4. That's effing cold, you guys. That is really, really, really cold. So with that, of course, it seems like, why wouldn't we do a homeless unhoused sweep every single day this week? Why not? And that seems to be Mayor Hancock's attitude towards it, which is precisely why there will be sweeps every single day this week. I've heard there was one this morning. I haven't heard anything about it yet. I haven't, honestly, with 4 kids not going to school, I haven't had time to check in. I barely had time to get my notes together for this. So we'll be checking in on that later, and also putting down the addresses of some unhoused camps you can visit and drop off supplies, because they desperately, desperately need it. If you need to get out of the house today, we got places for you to go. We have suggestions of things to do, but none of them will be more important than showing up to city council. If you're having as hard a week as I am, thank you. If you're having a hard a day or hard a week as I am, I have found that going to Denver City Council and just cursing at everybody is really cathartic, because you know what? They've asked for it by not doing their jobs. Polis, frankly, has asked for it by not following through with his promise to do anything about the unhoused. Sweeps are not solutions. Follow that hashtag on Twitter. And we really need to be doing more for the least amongst us. If you saw what Chile did over the weekend, they got rid of their constitution, said that we are not going to focus on free markets as much as we are social justice and the rights of citizens. That's really awesome. We should do that too. Everybody has the right to, if we're going to force poverty on populations, then the least we can do is keep them from dying in the cold overnight when it's negative, when it's below 0 outside, and not below freezing, like below 0. It was fucking cold last night, you guys. So with that, I'm begging you, if you can physically show up to city council tonight, do that. Public input starts at 5. Make your voice heard. Streamers are usually there. I will not be one of amongst them, because I have a special guest tonight, and I can't say the name yet, but for security purposes, we are not able to bring this person to the Capitol. So they will be in an undisclosed location, and I will be streaming from home. And I'm super excited. Of course you'll be there. Brian, this is Cut the Plastic. He misses nothing. Brian Loma will be there. And you know what? If we can hook up together, if you are physically there and you want to be seen and you have something to say and you are not selected for public input, I will coordinate with Brian, and we will get you at least on his stream as well as on mine. We'll just line them up and do a takeover, kind of like PSL did, and we'll make those motherfuckers listen. Because I promise you, city council members and the people who work for them watch this broadcast. They do. I can see their names pop up. I know who they all are. And some of them even DM me to defend themselves. I would like to thank the person who reached out and DM me over the weekend and made the special request that the sweeps be halted until the temperatures are above 30 again. Obviously, that request is not going to be honored for the rest of the week. But if we can keep pushing, this is how change comes about. You have so much more power than you think you do, but you don't exercise it by posting things on Facebook. You've got to show up and yell at city council. Yes, City council's always been open to the public. That is their job. So the room might not be open. If the room isn't open, you find someone and tell them to open it, that you're there for city council. And the reason is because of the digital divide. So with the digital gaps addresses, it says not everyone has equal access to the internet. And so that onus is on the city to provide it. So knowing that things are going to be conducted via Zoom, and a lot of people might not have the resources at home, theoretically and actuality, when city council is in session, you have every right to be present, even if they are not, and the Zoom meeting will be streamed into that room. When that happens, you still got to show up. You got to show up and find someone to open that room for you, and they will do so. I promise you. And if they don't, you call me and I'll call somebody for you and make that happen. Yes, I think it'd be fun, right? City council are not going to be there. We're just going to take over. You know what? We got to tell them to vote no on 2F, but we got a lot of things to say no about. And first of all, we've got to remind them that sweeps are not solutions and that we're mad. We are furious about what they are allowing to happen in their district, because if they don't have control, then who does? And isn't it weird to be elected and yet it's so impotent? Don't tell me you're powerless. You're not powerless. We put you in this position. We pay you 6 figures. Fucking do something. The least you can do is send an email. The least you can do is send an email when people are literally dying on the streets that you are responsible for. That's it. Yep, they'd rather kill the homeless. And that leads us to nice segue into the weekend wrap up. So the big event, as far as I was concerned, was the Planned Parenthood event, and which was organized by an independent organizer, not affiliated with anyone. I promise you, no matter what my boyfriend says, she's independent. Iris Butler. That event was really interesting. Turns out there's this guy named Ken outside the Planned Parenthood offices all the time who has 5 children who he's never met or paid a dime of child support for. As far as I'm concerned, Planned Parenthood wanted to start an abstinence campaign. It would start with Ken. Ken is also the reason why we need to vote no on Proposition 115. Most women do not know that they are pregnant, including me, and I've been pregnant 4 times. Most of us don't know that we're pregnant until well beyond week 4. So if you've not been pregnant yet, just saying, this is why voting is important. We got to vote no on 115. And there are plenty of stories over the weekend. If you want to reach out and ask about some of the streams or hear some of the stories, they are heartbreaking. We would love to tell you why in our own words, especially from women who were forced to make a terrible choice between their own health and ending a pregnancy sooner than they wanted to, despite the fact that the baby had a condition that was incompatible with life. No one gets an abortion for fun. No one's like, I'm going to have an abortion, then go to the club. Or, it'll be fine, I'll have an abortion. No one thinks that way. I promise you. Or if one or two do, who cares? Do you really want to raise that kid, or are you going to be more like a Ken? If you're watching this, I know what side you're on, so I'm going to stop going on about that. But I figure, like, with that, that's kind of a reminder. We all want the big things. We want to show up to the big action. We really want to show up to where everybody's going to be marching. It's because we don't want to miss anything. FOMO is real, especially now in an age of social media. This is why I live stream city council events. This is why Brian Loma shows up, Cut the Plastic. We want to make you care. We want to show you what's going on and give you an invitation to get involved, even if that means getting on camera and making sure that your voice is heard. There are different ways, so many ways to do that now. But it's not just the big events that matter. It's these daily small acts that matter more than anything else in the world. If you aren't familiar with the hashtag mutual aid, get really familiar with it. There are people doing amazing things in the community, amazing things. They are feeding the homeless. They are keeping them warm. They are distributing supplies very quickly. They're out there every single day. Sick, Tired, Dead, if you follow them on Twitter, and Cajun Kami are both out 4 days a week feeding people. They need money, you guys. It's been a rough week because they've been depleted by needing to purchase things like hand warmers. Wall of Moms and my family have stepped up and done as much as we possibly can. I'm not afraid to say that us alone this month, $2,500. We can't do that every month. We were ready to do it this month. And with that, we got wagons, we got all sorts of things, we got coolers, we got items to make this self-sustainable. We did. But those hand warmers, man, we go through them like that. A box of $15 box will have about 85 hand warmers in it. I gave them 4 boxes on Friday, and they were all handed out because you need them for both your hands and your feet when you're outside because you're unhoused. So with that in mind, hand warmers, please go buy boxes at Sam's Club and at Costco. Buy them at the grocery store. Buy them wherever you can. Just drop them by our unhoused community. They will be grateful. It's one of the nicest things you can do. If you aren't able to do that, gloves, socks, and maybe contributing towards hotel rooms. There are people putting this stuff together all the time. I'm begging you, Cajun Kami, Sick, Tired, Dead. If you do nothing else today, please, I'm going to put their Venmo and their Cash App and their PayPal in the comments. Please. Sorry, they don't have Venmo because it's too much personal information there. I will put their PayPal and their Cash App in the comments. Please donate whatever you can. $2 gets a meal for a person, and $5 will get them a meal, some hand warmers, or at least enough hand warmers for their hands and their feet that will get them through another cold, snowy night because it's going to be cold like this for the rest of the day, and another front is supposed to be moving in. So with that, don't lose sight of how important these daily small acts are in the grand scheme of things, and if you resent having to do it, go tell city council, because we wouldn't have to do mutual aid. We wouldn't have to spend our own money. We wouldn't have to do this shit if they were using our tax dollars wisely. Remember, your tax dollars are an investment that you make in the community and the society that you want to live in. And the people managing that investment are on city council. That is the lever of power. You don't just pull, you push. And you got to tell them what you want them to do. As far as I'm concerned right now, they're failing me. If you're happy, I would love to hear why. So with the week ahead, you know what I'm going to tell you? Just take one day at a time. Let's not look too far ahead. We got 8 days, y'all, until the big election returns start to come in. If you have not yet voted, today's the last day you can register to do so online, I think, and still get the ballot back. I saw that post from Governor Polis, and all I did was respond and tell him to fuck off, because that's what I do, and I'm not going to stop doing it until someone does something about the unhoused. But for that, sorry, my phone's going off all over the place. This is what my phone does most of the time. So with that, take a look. If you haven't voted yet, I'm assuming if you're watching this, you voted. If you have not voted, I did a thorough walkthrough of my ballot in Denver Judicial District 2, and I'm happy. And in there, I also shared in the comments of that post every single voter guide that I used to make decisions, and I talked you through my logic as quickly as possible. It took 20 minutes to do a full ride of the ballot, and granted, it's an extremely profane 20 minutes, so buckle up. I fucking hate liberals almost as much as I hate fucking conservative Democrats conservative Republicans who would rather like make every baby be born so they can die, freeze to death on the street because we care that little about anything. That's not the investment that I want to make in my community. I want my tax dollars to go towards support for those who have the least, at food on their table, a little bit of shelter, and the actual ability, social mobility. I want the social contract to come back. But that's me. Go tell your city council representative what you want them to do with your tax dollars. I do not want any more money going to the police, and they are paid double time, overtime, with hazard pay in this cold to sweep the unhoused into nowhere. That's fucked up. So with that, one more thing I really wanted to say. If you saw the post, we lost a comrade over the weekend. I am devastated by this. I know a lot of people are. And I just got to beg you, one of the person who found her body wanted me to tell you guys, remind everyone, no matter how overwhelmed you get, no matter how bad you feel, no matter how much you want to numb your mind and so that your soul can rest, do not, please do not mix benzos with alcohol in any amount. Don't do it. This death was accidental. It was preventable. And it was from someone who had a bad day and decided to have a glass of wine. And that was all it took for this to kick in. This was not intentional, but deaths from a combination of benzos and alcohol are rarely intentional. Rarely, according to the nurses that I spoke with over the weekend in the coroner. So with that sobering thought, you have more power than you think you do. Be the change that you want to see in the community. And for fuck's sake, who else can you curse at right now? Probably nobody. City council. They are asking for it, y'all, because they've done jack. Go yell at your city council. Meet us tonight, either online or in person. Look for Brian Loma. And I promise you, it's going to be a little bit of catharsis, because we wouldn't have lost this comrade if we weren't in such a dark place. And we wouldn't be in such a dark place if city council was doing their fucking jobs. There we go. Yep. The Bannock building is supposed to be open to the public the entire time the council is in session. That's correct. They are. That's right. I stop the shit there a lot whenever I'm downtown. I'm sorry. I know you're talking about Prop 115. I'm really sorry. It's a choice no one should have to make. And the church, again, one of the things that I was yelling at Planned Parenthood yesterday is like, if the church had done its job, if the church had not failed all of us so thoroughly, we wouldn't be here. And I'm not about to listen to them say no on abortion when they've done jack shit about all the priests who continue to molest little boys, with all of the known assailants and molesters who are still being hidden and protected by the institution itself. I don't have time for it. Hey, man, I totally get you. Yes, wear a face mask. Even if you get on the mic, make sure you wear a face mask everywhere you go. Yes, 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 absolutely. And if you can't show up in person, again, let me know. Reach out to me directly. My DMs are open on all of my platforms. And if you have something to say, I will make sure you get heard. And we can do it anonymously. We can hide your face. I'll talk you through what we need to do if you would like to remain anonymous and still say stuff. It does. Well, we went for the parameters around it. This is agreed upon by my husband because he is the breadwinner. The Fitness Protection Program in bringing in the big bucks yet, so we rely on his income. So the agreement with him was that we could only spend money on things that were sustainable, and just ask that others make that donation and use my platform to ask others to bring the donations. So we bought the wagons, we bought the coolers, we bought the storage bins for both Friends of the Forsaken up in Boulder and for Sick, Tired, Dead down here in Denver. We bought, what else did we buy? We bought all kinds of hand warmers. We bought some rechargeable hand warmers for the people who are standing out there every day. For our resident Buddhist nun who's at every single suite. So the people who are doing the work regularly, we bought them, and you can go find them. They're $10 each, man. It's a great investment. You can get 2 packs at Sam's Club. They cost $20 for a pack of 2, and they're these nice little hand warmers that are also a flashlight and a battery, a mobile charge pack. So a great thing to do would be to buy a couple of those, or as many as you can. Charge them fully, take them to an encampment, and then continue to check on those people. You can buy bigger charge banks. I can get 26,500 MUs for about $40. And then bring that charge bank with you day after day to check on those people. You are giving them a steady supply of heat. The problem is the recharging. They don't have the ability to do that. So this will give you a way and a connection to the community and a reason to keep coming back. And you'll know that what you're doing is keeping them warm, because those things kick out quite a bit of heat. It's enough to heat. If you are in a sleeping bag, it is enough to keep that bag nice and toasty all night long. It can be the difference between somebody having toes and losing them. Oh, yeah. Yes, I do. I'll share that, Katie. Fuck them all. Did y'all know that the city of Denver is about to purchase a lot of land at $1 million over the valued price from the Denver Police Activities League? Yep, this is why city council matters. No one paid attention when it was approved in October of 2019. The deal has not yet closed, but several people that are watching this right now have done all kinds of work to be like, oh, this is shady and crooked. And look at this nonprofit. If this money was used to buy a chateau in France, in Normandy, what? It's that corrupt. Corruption goes that deep. And I bet you most people weren't aware of it. I sure wasn't. So this is why we have to pay attention to city council. This thing that was presented is, oh, well, all we focused on was what's the land going to be used for? A youth center. Who doesn't want a youth center? That's great. Well, that's fine, but we don't have to pay an extra $1 million over the valuation to an organization that has basically looks like it's embezzling from itself. police-related organization that's embezzling from itself. If you want to know more about that, we'll put links in the comments here too. You are so welcome. Yeah, right. Well, Catholics are people who have been brainwashed. I was once upon a time was a Baptist who was brainwashed because I come from rural Tennessee, and it's that. And I truly believe that the gates of hell would open up and swallow me whole if I had premarital sex. Look at me now. Brainwashing can be undone. I like to give them. I say fuck the Catholic Church. Not all Catholics. I like to believe that people can be rehabilitated, and we have to give them space to do that. But in order for them to learn, we got to teach. Coops, we got to teach. Even with the gloves and hand warmers, that's true. Yay, thank you. Your coach, you are loved. Let's go win it the week ahead. And if you are hurting a lot right now, if you feel overwhelmed, that's valid. We are all experiencing multiple traumas simultaneously. There are hotlines, there is help, there is free help out there. If you have access to therapy, let's get you involved in that. Let's find you just someone that you can talk to. I promise you, talking to a fellow leftist is not the same as talking to a trained professional who can help you sort with, manage, and give you tools to deal with these traumas on an ongoing basis. Nothing in the world replaces therapy. Absolutely nothing. There are lots of good things out there and lots of good people with good intentions, but to really get through this, we're going to need collective self-care, and we're all going to need a lot of therapy. Real, actual work. Thank you, Jordan. We'll see you guys later tonight with my special guest star at City Council while we tell them to vote no on the Allied Security Contract and to stop fucking over the unhoused and to stop wasting our tax dollars and actually invest in our communities, because that's what taxes are, an investment, and we're going to make them act. We're going to hold them to their fiduciary duty. That's a big phrase. They have what's known as a fiduciary duty to us, the investors, and we're going to make them do it right. Have a good one.